Today's video is gonna be about my job, what I do, and how it is as an alternative person working in an office. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Orphea, and in my regular life I work in an office job. Now, my office job I've been doing at the same company for over 3 years at the moment of filming this, so I can say that I have quite a bit experience of working in this particular office. Now, I have studied office management with a specialization in event and project management. If you're interested in my job history, there's another video on that on my channel in my series called Jobs for Goths. Now, I've been working at the same office for over 3 years, and I started there in a certain position that wasn't really what I expected from it. It wasn't really what the company expected me to work in either, so I made some internal changes. Now, the department I currently work at is the Order and Customer Service department. So what do? I register orders into our ordering system. I help out customers with any questions they could have regarding their order, or I pass them through to the right internal service. So for example, to the accounting department or the product managers, etc. Now, I also do complaint management, which can be a bit tricky sometimes, but it's something that I really enjoy doing. Now, over the years, I've gone from doing this in regular orders to doing this for the export department, and my knowledge about languages is a huge plus in this. Now, my experience in this particular company as an alternative person is not really a bad experience at all. I have tattoos and piercings, and when I started at the company, I used to flip in my septum ring. I had neutral jewelry in my nose piercing. I didn't really wear alternative clothing to the office ever. I only tried to wear professional looking clothing, so regular clothing, and I used to hide all of my tattoos. However, when I got started at the company, I asked them about the company policy about piercings and tattoos, and there wasn't really a company policy on it. They just wanted you to look fit for your job, so professional for the thing that you are doing within the company. There's a few things that aren't allowed in my company. It's flip-flops, and it's also just like strappy bra type tops. There's a few things in our rules and regulations of the company that are not allowed, but it's really things that you would only wear when going to the beach or something. So there's not really any rules that you have to dress a certain way. They just want you to dress appropriately for your job. Now, I do back office, and this also speaks a lot in my advantage as an alternative person, because in back office I don't have any direct contact face-to-face with customers. I do have it sometimes in a year, but I will talk about that later. The only contact I have with customers is through the phone or through email and other people within the company in my desk, but those people are not outsiders. They're people who know me and who know what job I do, etc. Now, I have gotten a lot of piercings and tattoos within the period that I'm working at this company. I don't hide any of my piercings anymore. I actually changed to a full ring for my septum piercing, where I would wear the kind of horseshoe type ones that you can flip in your nose before. I stopped flipping it in my nose at one time. I think I forgot to do it, and no one noticed. No one commented on it. I even asked my direct boss, so the person who's in charge of my department, if it was an issue, and she told me, oh no, as long as you do your job, it's no problem at all. I also started wearing a nose ring, also no problem. And then I got my lip pierced again. Now, I knew that my company couldn't really say anything about it, but when I came back to the office, one of the first things my direct boss said to me was, oh, and now you got your lip pierced as well. It wasn't really a negative statement, but it came across kind of negative to me. So they were really surprised that I did it without consulting them first. Now, I don't think this would have been an issue, but I just simply don't think it would matter. But that just shows that if you're planning on doing body modifications and if you work an office job, that it might be better to inform your direct boss of it so that they are aware, and if there's anything you should pay attention to, so for example wearing neutral jewelry to the office, and that you don't get into any trouble with it. Now, I also have to mention that I am permanently employed by this company, so I have a contract with them for unlimited duration, so they can't just fire me over a piercing. I have to get 3 notifications that I actually made specific errors in the company or that I didn't do anything according to company rules, so they can't just fire me over a piercing, but they can actually give me a note about it, and that will be in my system. But since there's no clear piercing or tattoo policy, I don't think they even can. Anyways, tattoos. My tattoos are, for the most part, on not very visible places. Now, in the last year, I got tattoos on the lower part of my legs, and now that it's summer, many people have seen them because I tend to wear a sort of legging underneath my dresses that comes up to my knee, so anything under my knees is visible. Also those tattoos. Now they are 2 beetles, they are fairly neutral and they're not really aggressive or anything. It's not words that say something in particular that could be seen as aggressive. The comments I've gotten on them are not specifically negative, but it's just people asking, oh, you're allowed to show your tattoos at the office, or oh, you have tattoos, we didn't know this. I have a lot of tattoos and now they're starting to notice. Also, I got started on the lower part of my arm. When it was just the upper part of my arm, it was very easy for me to cover it. On my other arm, I don't have anything on the lower part yet, but I usually wear blazers and tops in summer that have sleeves up to my elbows. Now, even this year, I still wear sleeved things most of the time, but in summer when it's 30 degrees it's not really possible, so people have started to see my lower arm as well. Now luckily for me it's mainly roses and neutral things, but there's a skull included in this. I haven't gotten any comments about it yet, but I'm not sure if I will. Because every time I have meetings, and this is the main part that I want to talk about to you, that if you have meetings, if you know that you're gonna be with important people who maybe are not as open to body modifications, then I just simply tone down a little bit. What I will then do is put just a stud in my nose, I will put in a nose piercing that I can flip inside my nose, and I will wear something that covers all of my tattoos. Now, you have to decide for yourself if this is worth it or not. We have a sales meeting at least once a year, which is a very big meeting with a lot of the regional responsibles and also with the highest people within my company. And I know those people are not all open to piercings and tattoos. I've gotten a comment because I had my septum piercing out in one of the meetings. Afterwards, the person from HR came to me and told me, hey, I need to inform you that I got a comment from one of the high bosses that they found it inappropriate that you had this type of nose piercing. Which I personally don't get because it doesn't affect my job in any way, but it's something that I've noticed that especially people who are older tend to notice and tend to fall over because they're so stuck in the old system of looking a certain way at the office. Now, I dress like this at the office. This top is a top from Hellbenny that I really love. This is one of my favorite tops to wear right now to the job because it's got these really nice puffy sleeves. Most of the time I do wear a very light blazer over it because at the start of the day it tends to be cooler still outside when I drive to work. And also inside the office we have air conditioning, so it tends to be colder inside as well. So a blazer is something that I will almost always have with me, but of course if it heats up I will take it off and then you will of course see a lot of my tattoos. Now at my specific cubicle or compartments that I work in, no one has ever made any comments in a negative way about my tattoos. Most of my coworkers even ask me, oh, what is this? Does it mean something? Who's done your tattoo? Some of them also have tattoos, and some of my coworkers also have tattoos, and then we start talking about our experiences with it. Some of my coworkers are curious about it as well because of their kids that are starting to get to an age where they want tattoos, and they ask me for advice on what to tell their children. Wait until you're 18. Don't get tattoos before you're 18. And even then, like, really think over the idea of the tattoo before you get it. Now, for the contents of my job, I have proven over the years that I work there that I am someone who works very hard to reach the goals that are set, that I will do everything that I can to get things done, to get things sorted, that I'm a reliable person and that I work hard on the things that I ask me to do. And that is, I think, the main thing. if you have a job where people have certain prejudice against you, that you prove them wrong by working hard and not by rebelling against it. And I think that's something very important, that you prove your worth to the company, that you show them that you are more than capable of doing the job. And then I started implementing those alternative changes to my look. Now, I don't think that I would have not hired me at the very early stages. I started at this company because of the knowledge I have and the skills I have. But it's something very important that you need to keep in mind, that not every company will be extremely open to dressing alternatively on the job. I personally really enjoy dressing, how I call it, business goth or corporate goth. I think it's a very pretty look and I personally really like it. I also have a part of my wardrobe that is just my work clothing, my office clothing. So it's very easy for me to decide what I wear, and all of those outfits I know I feel comfortable in. They hide the majority of my tattoos because I don't want my direct boss to know that I have a sternum tattoo, for example. But that's just me personally. Of course, if you have a chest piece and you don't mind your boss knowing about it, then go for it. I personally don't feel like my boss needs to know about all of my tattoos. I don't mind them knowing about my lower arm tattoos or my leg tattoos. Those are tattoos that I'm completely fine with everyone seeing. Otherwise, I would have placed them in other locations. I feel like the point of this video is just showing you that I am an alternative person. I have an office job in which I'm doing very well. I've worked my way up into the company over a period of 3 years. I've evolved through the jobs. I've got more difficult tasks. I switched from regular orders to export departments. I work on very specific hard files. I've even gotten specific projects that I'm working on to optimize the flow of my company. So I do a lot of things within my job, and I actually like doing those things. I like having a challenge at my job. It's just what I enjoy. Now, if you still have any questions about how I applied for my job, how I found my job, if you have a similar degree, what you could be looking for, or generally if you have questions about things that I would personally do for the office, if you want my opinion on certain things, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will be more than happy to have a look. If there's other videos in this series that you want to see, also feel free to let me know. Before we end this video, I want to thank you for watching. I also want to thank my patrons for being my patrons and supporting my channel, and more specifically Anders, who is my high tier patron. Thank you so much, Anders, for helping my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next week for a new video. Thank you for watching. Bye!